Hey everyone, we'll do some checks. It's been a while since I did this. Rebel 73 here. There we go. Making sure I'm live. Okay, you can hear. Audio is good. I'll share a link out. Just doing a quick recording here. Uh, Home. I am live on. I know when me talking doesn't show you anything. Unbearable. Man, why do I get keyboard lag all of a sudden? 73 with a channel. This is actually Twitter lag. For some reason, channel update. Let's do some spell checking. Let's Control A, copy, post. Okay, so I know audio is good as far as I can tell. Just wanted to get Iron Legion. Okay. So it's all shared out. So what happened to me? Where did I disappear to on my own channel? You guys may have seen me reappearing on Roman Empire's channel sporadically and then finally regularly. Back on Wednesday and Overbooked, again sporadically and regularly. And the questionnaires, I'm back on there. So I will give you the long story short version. It's been the winter of my discontent with health circumstances. Now, I may have talked about, or may not have talked about, that I knew that I was going to lose my job between the beginning of October and the end of the year. They were going to downsize me because my position, the work I did for my previous corporation for X number of years, turned out to be 20 years or 20 years, had gotten eliminated by virtue of consolidating computer programs and whatnot. That's the IT business. No complaints there. Okay. So I was planning for that. I have previous existing health problems. I was planning for all of that, right? And all of a sudden, it's October, I don't know, October 10th to 11th, 12th, 14th. The first hospitalization was October 14th or 15th. My left hip. So I have all sorts of health problems, not just the obvious ones like the overweightness, but even going back to when I was young and healthy, I've had health problems since then, And, from wrestling in high school, I expect to have arthritis and all that, so whatever, you just deal with it. My left hip started kind of seizing up. Like I couldn't sit like this because it's 90 degree and I'm straight. Like it's 90 degrees this way and 90 degrees sideways. And if I did that with my left hip, the pain would be like, I always tell people it feels like if you've had a high ankle sprain, how it shoots up your leg and you have to get off it, you just can't stand there, it would explode from my hip downward, and either I had to get away from that 90 degree, like bend over like this, way over on the side, or bend over 90 degrees forward, or lay down flat on the bed, which turned out my bed was making it worse, but that's a whole issue to get to later. I didn't. Anyway, if I didn't do that, then I couldn't. It would just debilitate me. But it started like where I could function, but then within 2 days, I couldn't take care of myself. I couldn't do bathroom functions. I couldn't shower and all that. So I went to the hospital, and now this is the first Now the hospital I went to was the Jersey City Medical Center, which is a very good facility. I've not just because I worked for the parent company for years, but I know the people there and all that. And um, it was the only thing is the initial experience. Even though they treated me well, they didn't really treat my hip problem. Okay, they treated my obesity problem as if that was the cause and everything else was just routine. Meaning, and I should have been more insistent on them treating the hip. That was my fault for that first hospital stay. So they send me home, whatever. Um, and this, I where I live, the stairs are kind of rough. I usually help getting up them. Well, I didn't need help getting up to till the next experience I'll tell you about. But anyway, I get in, and things seem okay. They gave me some Flexerol. Things seem like they were going okay, right? Then, like not even 2 days later, 'cause I was in the hospital for like 4 days. Not even 2 days later, the hip started doing it again, but explosively. Like I remember it being Tuesday, and I thought I was just like it was getting better. I went home on Sunday. It was getting better by Tuesday. Hey JV, if you want to stop in, let me know. It, it, it was getting better, and then all of a sudden on Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, it just started getting worse, like dramatically worse than it was before. So by Wednesday, I literally couldn't get up out of bed without the pain. I couldn't stand up straight. So I mean, I was trying to work on compensations for hygiene and bathroom function. And on Thursday, I realized if I can't take a shower and use the bathroom, I can't take care of myself, which I couldn't. I walked into the shower and I realized if I turned that water on, I was going to fall and that was going to make it all worse. So I went to the hospital. Now, then this time though, I insisted on them dealing with the hip. So this time, uh, they did an X-ray, of the hip and all that, and they put me on some nerve medication. And basically, I have an arthritic hip, which was probably I've had for years, but something else was happening, either neurological or muscular, and it was like right next to it. So, and it made sense for what I was feeling. Like I feel a little, like I still feel the hip as a problem right now, but I would feel that, and all of a sudden, next to it, I'd feel something else, and then I would feel like a pain shoot out of like that whole area down my leg. And so, what this diagnosis was, I had an arthritic hip, and I also had neuromuscular problem, and they were aggravating each other. So, they put me on some medications. I was already taking ibuprofen. They had gabapentin, and Flexerol, and those were the medications that related to the problem there. And they put me on some other medications, which I'll talk about later, which confused me. But so I spent a couple days in the hospital. Then they sent me to a rehab facility. Now I'm going to show you something because it's easier to show, show not tell, right? So it's Hamilton Park, Jersey City. Park rehab. So they sent me someplace for rehab. I'm going to share this tab. So this place is called Alaris Health Hamilton Park Rehab Facility in Jersey City. It sucks. Okay. Now there were some people there, the PT people, and maybe half the nurses' aides. Okay, and one nurse, maybe one and a half nurses, who treated me well, and a nurse practitioner who treated me well, and a visiting doctor. Okay, everyone else there sucked. The food. I'll get to the food. The facility. When I first showed up, Hamilton Park is what I would call a potato farm. Basically, they put how do I put it? Old people or really disabled who go there to just be warehouse like until they die. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's kind of it's a part nursing home. My room is freezing. Okay, and then I asked for a blanket, and they're like, "Well, we don't have any blankets tonight," which is a violation of patient healthcare standards, but that's a whole separate issue. Okay. Um, Now, I've worked in healthcare for 23 years. Okay, the first 10, 9 of them, it wasn't even IT. I worked in nursing administration in the nursing office, helping to run a facility, a hospital. So I knew to have appropriate linen for your patient. A patient must have clean linen minimum every day, minimum. Okay, and I find, and later this facility has its own, like they do their own linen work. So there's no excuse for them technologically not having appropriate linen at all times. Okay. Now there is an improvement. It's budget. They don't budget enough people to wash the clothes fast enough, but that's the whole issue there. So I get in there. The next day I'm immediately on top of this. Like, first of all, I played nice guy. You always want to play nice guy at first, at least for the first couple hours, because I can tell you from personal experience, there are staff who will react to that in a way that's medically inappropriate. Okay. Now, so I gave it a little time, and I just made normal complaints. Oh, it's cold in here. I didn't have wind last night. Oh, Mr. Reno will handle that, blah, blah, blah. Handle bullshit, okay? I wound up the next night, after another night of freezing cold, although they did give me blankets that night. Another night of freezing cold, okay? And I hadn't even noticed other problems yet. I'll get to those. Finally, the next day, I blow up. I call the nursing supervisor myself on the leave messages. I leave message with the lead hospital administrator. I put in verbal requests with the staff. And by the way, if you're in a medical facility in the U.S., well, in New Jersey especially, but the same elsewhere, you have a right to talk to the nursing supervisor, as well as your doctor. So if you feel you're not being whoever resident or nurse covering you, you can demand, and they have to get a message to that person. They're supposed to see you on shift. Okay. Now, so I do that, and finally I noticed I'm starting to make efforts at fixing the room. And I don't know how the old guy, he was there for months. Oh, hell yeah, Salty. Salty, if you want to pop in, let me know. DM me or something if I can monitor my DMs, Well, I don't think it's imploding because there are facilities. The thing is, my insurance, I have a feeling there was something called funneling going on, Salty, where they were trying to funnel me to this particular facility, the social worker in particular. Okay, like all the lists they gave me they gave me 6 facilities what to choose from, and they said they said they pulled it from my insurance list, but then when they submitted me to them for the insurance, the company would say no, they won't take me. They don't take my insurance. Yet they pulled the list from my insurance, which means they didn't really pull the list from my insurance. They just pulled the 6 days they're probably getting kickbacks from. Okay, so I have a feeling I was feeling the social worker funneled me to this place. Okay, but I'll that's besides the point. So a guy comes in and there's 2 heaters in the room. There's the boiler heater and then there's the HVAC heater, right? And they don't use the boiler heater because it's an older system and clunkier. But he couldn't make the HVAC work, so he put the boiler on. So the room became either no heat or like 85 degrees, And that Wednesday, no, there are issues, Salty. I mean, don't get me wrong. We can have a whole separate discussion on health. Maybe you and I can talk career stuff. Let me know. We can do a career healthcare IT healthcare worker chat another time. But I see them too. But and you can blame Obamacare for them. But anyway, so this begins a battle with like. So I got there on a Thursday, Friday, Tuesday. Spent the next week being really that Wednesday. I literally the heat was so hot in my room, over 80 degrees in my room, that I literally was suffering severe dehydration and was delirious. Now that's big for me because I'm a bariatric patient. I can't consume, like if I chugged this bottle of, let's say this was water, right? If I chugged it, I would throw it up because my stomach isn't this big anymore. Okay, so I couldn't consume enough water to remain hydrated in the 85-degree patient room. Okay, now, so factor that in, right? Now, I had a battle with the heating in this place. Literally, they fixed the HVAC, which kept the room controlled with a controllable temperature. I want to say 2 days before I left, and I was there 30 days. Okay. So another thing in this facility, the food is horrible. I'm a bariatric patient. I'm supposed to be on a high protein diet. The nutritionist doesn't even make rounds until the next week. Puts me on a high protein diet, and it's which it says so in every receipt they a high protein diet was like 6 pieces of toast and no meat, or when lunch would come, you'd get like a massive amount of pasta with one meatball. So I wound up having to you can do takeout. So I wound up living off of the Wawa, ordering, even though it was sandwiches, it was healthier than what they were giving me because um, again, the food. So this place, don't ever, if someone's trying in Hamilton Park in New Jersey, don't ever go there. Don't ever go there. But you know how? But it's not over yet. Okay, so end of 30 days. Who's messaging me now? Let's see who's that's just Verizon wanting me to pay them for something. So now I knew this by virtue of working in healthcare. I knew this was going to happen. Okay, and I'm cutting stuff out of this story because I don't want to whining about this one facility for. I mean, I don't know if I can do more than like an hour online here, so I want to get to it. So how do I put it? I knew this was going to happen because I know how healthcare works. My insurance covered 30 days, and you would have to appeal to stay there, right? But the appeal, you would have to put the appeal in like a week or two in advance, and I didn't. No one asked me to do that. And honestly, after 2 weeks, my hip had improved dramatically to the point where I could function. I was still physically weak, which I'll get to in a minute. I started suffering a left eye. Yeah, this is like a health update where I've been type of horror show thing. Left eye. Again, if you want to, anyone wants to pop in, people in the chat, let me know. So anyway, so I knew this would happen, and I told my family to help me get my home ready. Because also I found out that the ultra firm mattress I had been sleeping on, which was good for my back, was bad for my hip. So I did a real research and found that a medium firm, which would give a little on the hip, which would help. And so I got a medium firm memory foam, and I wanted my family to install it, my brother, and they got it there. But then one of my best friend wound up installing it, which is fine. Okay, but I kept telling him to rush to get the apartment ready for me to go home because I knew what happened would happen. And so they walk in the day before the 30 days are up, and Mr. Marino, your 30 days are up. You have to go home tomorrow. Okay. No medically cleared to go home tomorrow. So I was already medically cleared because the hip was better. They just kept me to milk the insurance company. Okay. So, and then the nurse, once they say you're going to be discharged, they're supposed to start the paperwork and discharge process then. So everything is ready. In other words, if every nurse hands a bit of it off. I get to the next day. They rush me out of the bed. And I'm in a wheelchair, which is an uncomfortable wheelchair. It's broke, basically. And I'm sitting, they take me to the desk, and it turns out that no one did any paperwork for me to be discharged. So I'm sitting there with the ambulance guy, my dick in my hand, so to speak. But really my possessions, waiting for a nurse who isn't even my assigned nurse to do about an hour's worth of paperwork. Okay. So finally I get the paperwork. Now bear in mind, I went in October, got out in November, like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So it was like 10 or 15 degrees colder, right? Bear that in mind. He takes me down the stairs and then finds out when I'm outside in the 45-degree weather in shorts, because I went to the hospital in a rush job in like shorts, or sweats. What was sweats? And a t-shirt, no jacket, no nothing. Okay, and he's like, "Well, wait a minute, I can't take you in my." First, he goes, "Well, I'll get to the second part of the horse story later, next part 2. But what I can't take you because you have to have those leg support things in the wheelchair, otherwise I can't put your wheelchair in the van. It's against the law." So now he knows that for some reason. So I'm like, "Okay, dude, I'll be right back." Goes in the building and then just doesn't even tell me what they're doing. They spend an hour searching for the things for the wheelchair because they had to borrow a wheelchair from Hamilton Park. Okay. So finally he gets to it. Now, Mr. Marino, we have another problem. I can't get you in. Your wheelchair is too big for my van. So what you have to do is get off the wheelchair, get in the van. I'll put the wheelchair in sideways, then you could sit in it and I could lock it down. And I'm like, just okay, just to get home from this hellhole, I'll do whatever. Get home, fine. Then the guy's like, okay, Mr. Rios, just get out of the van and so I can go, which is against the law. He has to get me in the apartment. I'm technically not discharged from a medical facility until if transportation is taking you home until you are in your home. Okay. I get to my steps, and I'm 50 something pounds lighter. Okay. I lost 50 pounds in rehab from lack of food or whatever. Okay. Maybe 55, somewhere around there. And I've been doing PT for a month. Bear that in mind. For some reason, I couldn't. I told you my stairs are tough. I couldn't lift myself. Like, not that it would like strain and maybe get a little up and like my muscles wouldn't work. And he still wanted to leave me. We tried calling the Bayonne EMS for an assist. They rolled up, said no, we can't help you. And left. Yet they're still trying to charge money for that. And so finally we do. I get back in the van. And either I have to go back to Hamilton. I'm thinking I have to go back to Hamilton Park so I can sort this out because I can't stay in the cold. Like I'm handicapped or whatever. But it comes down to my benefit that they take me to the emergency room at Jersey City Medical Center. And so I go in there and I get more properly diagnosed. I've had a urinary tract infection for a couple of weeks that really wasn't healing up. They think what made me extremely weak was the urinary tract infection. Okay, but also come out to being locked, basically trapped in a hospital bed for more than 30 days, which after 3 days, your body decays. So there's a lot of reasons for medical problems. But finally, medical center says, we'll get a team of people to help you up those steps. We'll get you in the house. Okay. So I do overnight at the medical center. They treat me like a king. They're great people. And they give me proper antibiotics, and testing and all that. They get me home, and things seem like they're okay. I just got to do rehab, PT at home and rebuild, And I say to myself, I'm just going to take December off and do the PT and recover because there's a financial mess of, which I've now sorted out a bit. And I was, I'm on FMLA, so they can't fire me to like end of January. New Jersey disability. So in New Jersey, you have to if you're on temporary disability insurance as an employee, you have to file right away. Because the longer you wait, they can deny you. Like if you wait a month, I had to wait a couple weeks to file just because of the facility, but I was in time. If I had waited 2 months to file, and this is important, they'd deny me the first month and say I filed for that too late. So I filed for the disability, and they're supposed to send you some paperwork that the doctor has to fill out. Okay, it's technically available online, but I'm basically in a rehab facility. I have no access to that at that point, and I have no way to get it out of them and print it because they're not going to print stuff for you at the facility, right? So they send me a denial of my claim because I did not send Form M10 to them, which was the provider saying I'm disabled with the medical coding and all that. Dated the same day they denied the claim, which means they sent me the form the doctor's supposed to fill out the day they denied the claim, right? So what they want you to do is file a new claim. This way they can deny you like the first month or two of money. Instead, you proper to do is appeal. So I got my doctor to fill out the paper, submit it, and appealed, but they punish you by saying you're in a 6 to 8 week window of backlogged appeals, which would have been this week. Okay, like we're in now. So I'm like, okay, I have money in the bank saved up for this rainy day and all that. Oh, you should always try to have money in the bank, by the way, guys. Don't depend on credit cards. I don't have any more credit cards. So I'm just kind of biding my time. I'm getting partial sick pay, like because the way New Jersey is, you'll get your disability doesn't cover your whole salary. What doesn't get covered if you have sick pay will make the difference up. So I'm getting by. I'm paying my bills and all that, and they're okay. Fast forward to late December. I started to feel weird. My breathing got When I would lay down, it felt like a little pressure, and felt like I was like it just felt like difficult to inhale, right? Even with my BiPAP. So fast forward, I wind up needing to go to the hospital. I decided I'm going to go to the hospital because I feel, when you have a respiratory problem and you're heavy and you've taken COVID vaccines, which can give you heart problems, you don't want to take any chances. And here's where the nightmare continues. So I called the ambulance, and I shouldn't. I should, because I know I probably need help down the stairs. I didn't need help down the stairs. I need someone just in case, I probably should have risked my life falling down the stairs and Ubered my way to Jersey City because hell part 2 happened, okay? They take me to Bayonne Medical Center against my will. I'm like, please take me to Jersey City, blah, blah, blah. And they give me all sorts of reasons why they can't, So I get to Bayonne, and I'm like stuck there. They're giving me treatment. Initially, they're going to give me, they start with, hey, Mr. Marino, did anyone tell you you have a severe heart problem? I'm like, well, no, because I don't have one. He goes, well, then he goes, well, when you were here back in 2020, you had some tests. You were diagnosed as having blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, those are wrong because your problem with my breathing back in 2020 diagnosis was that when I was sleeping, okay, I wasn't purging it. I'm perfectly fine when I wake. My oxygen stats are sitting up here is like 100. Probably. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I'll do a little oxygen test while I'm sitting here. So I said the second I went to Bayonne Medical Center, the second hospitalization. First was Jersey with pneumonia. I know I'm rushing through that, and I thought I was dying after. Well, the second stop at Bayonne Medical Center, I went into a coma for 2 days. I was told by a friend of mine whose friend worked there that they were trying to convince my family to let me go for organ donation. They weren't going to try to save me. That friend of a friend was an ICU nurse. She fought for me and got me back. They purged carbon dioxide from my lungs basically, and I was breathing normal and woke up. Okay. See my here. You can see all this. I'll make myself big again. So there's a little pulse ox meter. My O2 is 93. My heart rate's 92. 98. So my heart rate's dropping a little bit. So I'm good there. Anyway, to make a long story short, I think my head starts to hurt, but I'm not playing any audio, so I don't think headset turned off, but I'm not playing any audio, so I don't really need that. So anyway, I go home from back into. I know I'm being crazy, but understand the story, understand the context. I get home from Bayonne Medical Center, and I knew they messed my insurance up, and I knew they messed my treatment up. But I get home, I'm just thinking I should get some cardiologist, pulmonologist. I make an appointment for them, and the day I'm going to see them about 2 weeks later, I start feeling the same symptoms that I called the ambulance from the medical center for, but earlier. So I tell my cousin, who I'm in the car with, take me to Jersey City so I don't have to go to Bayonne ever again. Get to Jersey City, they diagnosed me properly with carbon dioxide poisoning. Nothing's wrong with my heart. I had a heart test literally the year before for major surgery. And fast forward to here. Now I'm back at Bayonne Medical Center. Okay. And this asshole's telling me that I had a dangerous heart condition, and they didn't tell me about it. I'm like, no, they didn't. Because since then, I've seen other doctors who said I'm fine, and he didn't want to believe that, but whatever. So they called to do an EKG, which is fine. A little, showing have some symptoms, but not like dangerously so. And they want to do an echocardiogram. Remember that. I get admitted, okay, because what I am suffering from. They diagnosed it as some fluid around my heart build up, making it difficult for me to breathe. Whatever. So they put me on a pill that would make me pee a lot. Furosemide or something like that. Well, they give me an injectable and I pee a lot, right? And the one main doctor who I liked, he said, "You're doing better. You can visibly see you're doing better. I know you don't look as like ashen and puffy or whatever." So, ego CO2 poisoning. So when you sleep, ego, okay, so your body has certain processes it goes through when you're awake versus when you're asleep, right? And when you're awake, you build up carbon dioxide in your lungs. Okay. And when you're sleeping properly, your lungs go to a cycle where they purge it. Okay. And my lungs weren't doing that. So I need what's called a BiPAP machine. CPAP is for people who snore. I do snore. I've been on CPAP, I don't know, for years, but it won't help with the CO2 problem. You need a BiPAP. When a CPAP is one way, BiPAP is two ways. So, uh, well, congestion diagnosis. There you go. Like it's not so much that your heart is failing; it's that your something is making your heart fail. All right. But anyway, so BiPAP is in and out. So it will push air in and pull air out. And when it pulls air out, it helps your lungs purge carbon dioxide. And since I've been on the BiPAP, I've had no symptoms of that problem at all. Okay. So I'm back at Baylor Medical Center, and a whole flurry of doctors come and start seeing me. They're blah blah blah, and the staff, for the most part, made up for the fact that this CarePoint Health, which run Baylor Medical Center, had just declared bankruptcy, was in deep financial shit, and was a shitty hospital. But the staff who treated me, for the most part, was treating me well. Okay, so but there's still nightmare stuff to this staff Baylor Medical Center. Okay, the food sucked, whatever. Um, They made me sleep in a broken hospital bed for 4 days. Okay. So don't ever go to Baylor Medical Center, at least until my company or Meridian buys them. Now, if they're in bankruptcy, no one can stop the purchase. Okay. And we'll fix them up. A broken hospital bed. My back still hurts a little from that. Like like left, I know Left Eye and Joker have seen me leave streams early because even though I'm back on them like on Wednesday night and overbooked and Roman Empire. But I leave after an hour, maybe an hour and a half at most, because my back injury from sleeping in a broken hospital bed for more than 3 days is still kind of there, you know. But then, okay, the echocardiogram, which was supposed to show the problem with my heart, right? Oh, we'll do it tomorrow, Mr. Reno. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Mr. Reno, you're being discharged today. I'm not signing. I told him I'm not signing for my discharge to do this echo. They wound up doing the echo like late Friday afternoon, and I'm like, I want the reading. You better read it before I leave. I'm not signing off on it. And they delayed me to the next day with a discharge. And I told them they actually called a full attending in to read it off on me because they needed me out of the hospital. They needed the bed because they have to make money. And turns out that they're the normal problems you would expect from a middle-aged person with obesity issues. Nothing glaringly dangerous, right? Despite the fact that they have me on so many fucking pills now, half my pills are like supplements I take to well, I have a long-term back problem and I have like the hip problem, like I mentioned, which you might not have got to describe the hip problem. And then and what happened is the bed, like normally my long-term back problem would be like once or twice a year it'd go and I have to just baby it for a day or two, you know? When you sleep in a broken hospital bed for 3 or 4 days, and they refuse to change it. They changed it once, bed broke again. They kept saying, "Oh, we ordered a bed, Mister. We ordered a bed." Never came, and never offered to change the bed again. And so don't ever go to Baylor Medical Center, right? Uh, so I get home. The unlike the helpful people who took me home from Jersey City, the jerks from McCabe Ambulance Company who took me home really weren't being helpful at all. Okay, all I wanted them to do was a few things to set so I could settle in on my bed and rest at home, and they didn't want to do that. But one of them did because one wasn't a jerk. The other guys were jerks. But and I've been slowly rebuilding since then. Right, had the flu since then. So and then I get to January. The end of January, FMLA is ending. My doctor wants to extend my medical leave because I'm still struggling with some stuff. So he signed up what's called ADA leave. I submit that, and I don't hear anything back from the company at all. And then that's when they decide they're going to lay me off. Now, I knew the layoff was coming. Okay, my hope was to try to extend it maybe 30 days or whatever, or a month, 2 months, just so I can get a little more on my feet before I start the unemployment looking for a job thing. Um, In any case, so they give me so I do got seven. I'm okay financially. My severance pay is basically my full take home salary for almost over 6 months, like 6.5 months, or 6 months and 1 week, so to speak. Um, I have a back disability. It doesn't pay me. Matter of fact, I'm not going to. I can't show you guys this because that's private information, but I can. Supposedly, according to New Jersey Disability, I should be. This is the 8th week, so that there you go. Next week they may have an update. They're saying that it's more like 9 weeks now. Is whatever. Yeah, so I still haven't, my claim still has not been reviewed. Blah 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 bullshit. I hate them. So anyway, so I'm okay financially, other than the fact that my I have a severance agreement. They're going to supplement my COBRA payments for the first 3 months, so I'm only paying my like $100-something out of, like I would pay out of my paycheck if I was still employed. After that, I got to see if I could afford the full COBRA. Unemployment, and I got to look for a new job, that sort of stuff. But that's what's been going on with me health wise. I'm working on stuff. Funny enough, I get the flu last week. I'm still kind of recovering from it a little bit. I hadn't gotten the flu or a cold in this decade. In fact, the last time I remember getting the flu was probably 2011 or so. Okay. I've had a couple colds the last decade, maybe two. I've been taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C among my supplements, and it helps me blow them off really fast, So that's been, now as far as the channel goes, depending on how I feel this afternoon, I may just do a Friday Fandemonium at 5 p.m. It'll be a short one, so I get back in the habit of talking about the fan stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, well, here, I am not offering medical advice. I am not a doctor. I am not a doctor. Let me turn the background off so I could. I'll show you the supplements I take, and I will tell you why I take them, not why you should take them. Okay. This is all my. I have 3 pills I take 3 times a day, and all the stuff is 1 a day. Okay. Half of this is supplements. Is audio better now? I know if I position with the microphone, sometimes it changes. Oh, that's welcome to the channel, White Bear 2. So what supplements do I take? Okay, so I have 1,000 milligram vitamin C that I take. It's in a generic bottle here, but I have a big container over there. Rip chip on Amazon. I've been taking this since 2004 or so. In my opinion, not any medical advice, just in my opinion. Okay, saturating yourself based on things I might hypothetically have read. Having vitamin C doesn't do much for you other than the minimal amount which is less than 1,000 milligrams. Like the amount you get in a multivitamin is normal what you need. But having your blood saturated with it is not harmful. And when you get a cold or a flu, it can give it fuel to help your body fight off the cold or flu. That's my opinion, just stuff I read. But I results. I've been taking a omega-3 fish oil supplement 1 a day of 3,600 milligrams. Supposedly, from what I personally have read, helps your heart a little bit. Obviously, I take a good multivitamin 1 a day. I have a lot of crap in it. Yeah, let me put these back. There's a couple more. I take my allergy pill once a day, all year round. I take a vitamin D3. What's this one? I take a B12. This is a prescription version, but you can get vitamin B over the counter. I take an iodine tablet. I started taking iodine tablets because I have worried about my skin health. And I can't say this on camera. One of the things you get when you're overweight is these sort of like dark patches on your legs as the capillaries keep breaking. It was all up to my knees, basically. And so I said I didn't think I was going to do anything much about it other than lose weight. But which I'll get back to in a minute. But I read an iodine deficiency could make your skin not be able to fight stuff off. And the way you tell if you have an iodine deficiency is you put some iodine on your skin and wait. And if 30 seconds or a minute later it's been absorbed, you have an iodine deficiency because your skin needs iodine. So since I've taken those iodine tablets about a year ago, there's been a dramatic improvement in my skin health. So I think that experiment was justified. I take zinc. I don't remember the dosage. I think it's like a couple hundred milligram milk. And yeah, everything else in there is prescription. Now, one other supplement that I read about that I was going to try. I have not tried it yet. I just literally got in the mail yesterday. It's called berberine. Okay, again, I don't know stock in this stuff. Supposedly, and one thing I've been struggling with as I get older, I'm a bariatric patient. My stomach gets very unsettled easily, and the probiotic environment in your stomach, yogurt's supposed to help with that. Well, my stomach is small; I can't chain eat yogurt. Supposedly this helps your stomach in that regard. So I'm going to give that a shot. Scenario. Oh, so it turns out I started taking a medication called, what the hell is it called? It's a prescription metabolism booster that has good for weight loss. And one doctor in particular thought that would actually cause my cardiac problem, my problem that I went to Baylor Medical Center for. It wasn't anything else. It was just taking that pill and my body reacted to it in a known way. So I don't take that pill anymore. As far as the channel goes, like I said, let me be close. I know I'm cutting out if I go too far away. If I feel okay at 5 o'clock, I'll go live with a short sort of commentary update type of thing. My normal Friday Pandemonium stuff. Okay, that's an if. No, not metformin. That's a fiber thing. The metabolism drug that I was off. What the hell was it called? And I liked it a lot. It was. If you guys ever heard of Fen 10 or 15 years ago, an over-the-counter thing that got banned because it was causing people have problems with like high blood pressure and heart attacks. Well, they made a medical version that took out the bad stuff that minimized the symptoms, and you get a prescription, and it was proven for weight loss. Yeah, metformin works through your stomach though, White Bear, if I remember correctly. I'm leery of stuff like that because, well, they made a safer prescription version of it that had way less side effects. And when I started taking it in September, the first 3 or 4 weeks, nothing much happened. The next 4 to 6 weeks, I lost like 25 pounds, and it was working for me. I stopped taking it when I had to go into the hospitalization. Started taking it when I got out again. Was started to lose weight again, and the cardiologist, the main cardiologist who saw me at Baylor Medical Center, says he really thinks that was the cause of the problem more than anything else. So I haven't taken it, and I stopped taking it, and the problem went away. Again, I am not a doctor or a nurse or any medical person. I'm just telling you my personal experiences and opinions and experiences. What was I going to say? So again, Friday Pandemonium, while we did that, I do want to do a sort of reaction to the first 11 minutes of the Wheel of Crime, or Prime, whatever. Man, I'm going to get some content out there, guys. I'm going to use my time and get it out there. So we'll do that. Anything else I can do updates on? Otherwise I'll go back and finish my salad at a meeting. Any questions, guys? Well, the thing is, the thing is, White Bear, I need something to do other than lay in bed and sit at my desk and play World of Warcraft. You get tired of not doing anything because I'm not working right now, right? And I'm not going to be looking for work probably for the next 4 or 5 months minimum. Just because I want to do rehab. fact, today next time I get in this chair, I gotta do my upper body PT. I stopped doing it for a week because the flu symptoms wrecked me, man. Oh my god! Like I thought I was gonna die the first 2 days. You know, like I was like, what's going on here? And then it was just a flu, and then I was okay. Yeah, I really want to do that. I know I can. It just disappeared. Our timing didn't work out, but maybe let me know when you obviously have the more. You are more pressed for time than I am. Okay, so let me know. Send me a DM your availability over the next 2 weeks, and I can kind of flex around it. You know, and we could try to uh, either do a stream or a pre-recording that we broadcast. Whatever we want to do with that. Because living with disability is an interesting thing. And then, so any questions out there, guys? Uh, you know, uh, JV. I'll make a separate brand for Friday Fandemonium. This way, we can keep the stuff separate. Um, you know more about using StreamYard than I do at this point. Yeah, for the crew or the customers, White Bear. What type of food did your restaurant serve? There's a delay, so he might not be able to answer that to another a minute or so. Let me go to the comments. Yeah. Well, steak. I mean, hey, bro. You know how many places don't serve any form of steak? Hopefully you guys do it okay, but like I don't mean nowadays shit's expensive, so I can understand it, but like steak is an Italian food. There are Italian places that don't serve even steak pizzaiolo, or beef Italian pot roast, which are ridiculously easy and cheap to make, you know. So more power to if you serve some steak. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it here. I've been up. I gotta to protect the back. I gotta go sit somewhere else that's less strainful on the back, and continue eating lunch and watching and enjoying my day. Because Reacher season 3 is out, by the way. Don't know what to think about. Because think about, I watched the first 2 episodes, enjoyed them. Okay, third episode's up, so I watched the first 3 are out. Don't know what to think. I'm a Law and Order junkie, so I got to watch Law and Order. I got some wrestling to watch. But Reacher season 3 at least, and Invincible season 3 is out. There you go. Later, guys. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Friday. If I do a Friday Fandemonium, it'll be a little spontaneous. It'll be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. And with that said, that's the life news. I am out of here.